Okay, I should do this off camera. There we go. Hey y'all, thanks for joining me again. So today we're going to be doing the tutorial on the Valentine's Day inspired prom dress. And so before I get started, sorry, I was just wrestling with my husband. So just catching my breath here, okay? I'm gonna go over all of the materials that we're gonna be using today, and we're gonna get started with this applique. I got it on Amazon for about $45. For those who are having a hard time finding a designer, you can follow this video and make it yourself. And so this applique here, right? I hope y'all can see it. It looks good from the naked eye. From a designer's eye, I will say it is a little cheap. It will do the job for what we need it to do, but you can see like places like right here. It these stones are glued on and not sewn on, so there's pieces that fell off, so I would have to replace them. Like it's like another one here. There's a few of them that fell off already, so you get what you pay for, right? Thankfully it does come with extra bling, so I can play around with it. Next we have the sequin velvet. And so again, Amazon, I believe I got the 8 yards if I'm not mistaken, so you can see how this looks here. It does not have stretch to it. Typically the good quality one has a little stretch, but this one has a little bit. You can see the difference between this one and like a better quality one. It would be that the sequins are closer together. This one is a little spaced out. So again, you get what you pay for. I think I got 8 yards for like $60 or something like that. So budget friendly. Then because I want to add the roses to the bottom of the dress, let's open this. I did buy some chiffon, some red chiffon, so that I can do the florals. So honestly, this one was $21 for, if I'm not mistaken, five yards. I'm gonna confirm everything, but this one is pretty decent quality. So now that we've gone through the materials, I am also using illusion mesh for the top. You all know what that looks like, and if you don't, I'm gonna show you real quick. So this illusion mesh, I got it from, I did not get this one from Amazon. I got it from Exclusive Fabrics in I'm about to say the city, but I know many of y'all like, well, what city? I'm from New York, so the city for me is Manhattan. But I got this from New York City, Exclusive Fabrics. You can ask for Anna or Fred. They're the owners, and y'all can see the illusion is illusion. So we're gonna use this for the top. We're not gonna do any boning in this one. I want it to be as beginner friendly and easy as possible. So stay tuned and let's get started. Fold the mesh in half, and then we're gonna fold it in half again because we will be doubling the illusion mesh just for more stability. So you could use the stretch side, or you can go ahead, if you don't want it to be stretching too much on your client, you could do this way. You see it has a little ease, but not too much. Here you can see I went ahead and placed the material on a little angle just because I needed it to be a little longer than the width that it was. So I went ahead and pinned my material down. I did shift it over just a little bit to make sure that it was in alignment with what I needed it to be. And so I'm pinning the sides, and we're going to go ahead and pin the dart that's going to be on that princess seam to take out all of that extra fabric that's there. Remember when you're draping to put a bra there if you are not the size of the dress form. You can put any bra size that you need and just stuff it and then drape over it so that you know that whatever you're draping is going to be the right size for you or your client. So now let's go ahead and trim away all this extra material. You can cut it to the size that you want. Now I am trimming where I want my V-neck to be. Remember, do not go too low on the V, because then you're going to either have to create some type of structure with the boning, or you're going to have to put illusion mesh there. And I didn't want either, so I didn't go too low with this V-neck. Now for the back, I'm doing a low back on this, so it's pretty self-explanatory if you just look at the video. I'm just trimming out basically what I did with the front, just trimming out the desired style that I want. And I did leave some seam allowance on all my seams. I did leave on this a 1/2 inch all around, and I'm just going to go ahead and snip the back at the waist just to ease the loosen up the tension that is causing in the back. For the skirt, we're going to go ahead and fold our fabric selvage to selvage, which would be this side to side, and we're going to make sure that it's flat and even so that we can go ahead and cut out our skirt. I will be using a bodycon dress from Fashion Nova to use as my bodycon template. This is the easiest way that you can go ahead and cut your skirt out. As you can see here, I am taking my measurements from the waist to the floor. It is about 43 without heels and 46 with heels. Now you want to add a little more than just 3 inches for your heels, unless you are planning on wearing some very short heels. So I typically will cut at 48. On this one, I did not cut it at 46, and I played myself, but this dress wasn't for me, so doesn't matter. So now when it comes down to the bodycon, you want to go ahead and move it to the length that it's supposed to be, which it should have been 48 from the end of the fabric. And now you see I'm taking my hip measurement, because when you divide that hip measurement by 4, it will be the hip measurement that you need to cut out. So you can see, I believe mine was supposed to be like 11.5. I've moved my fabric over 11.5, and that is my pattern right there. I can cut it out from there. We're going to be using the entire width of this fabric because we want a very dramatic flare out. Another measurement that's good to take is your waist to knee, because the waist to knee will tell you how long it needs to be before the flare out comes. I like to take it right above, so we're gonna go about 21 inches down, not from the seam allowance, from where the skirt is. So 21 would be right there. We're going in, and then we're going right back out. So the only reason why I didn't go to the corners is because I don't want this showing at the bottom of my skirt. You can snip the middle so that we know where the center is. For those of you with smaller waists and bigger hips, now we're gonna go in and slope out this waist part. So y'all can see it does have a lot to take off. So you just wanna go ahead and slope it out. And here we are. Here we have the front of the skirt. Mermaid, bam. Now you can keep it like this, but for me, I want it to be very wide at the bottom, so I'm gonna be putting in godets. Before we start on the bottoms, we're gonna cut the back. And so, we're gonna keep it folded how it is, and we're gonna cut. We're gonna place this the opposite way, like we're literally gonna flip it to cut the back side. And then we will have our skirt. Now this one, and the better quality one is definitely wider material. I think this one is only like 54, normally it's like 60. I am place the center seam, which would be, this would technically be the center back. We're gonna place that on the side that's not folded. so we can literally just trace out what we did in the first one. The only thing that will be different on here is the waist. I did not show you guys, but it's the waist and the center back. You're gonna go make an indentation where, like, from the waist to the knee, you want it to slope out because that's where your butt will be. And so I contour it, but I did do it off camera. I apologize, y'all. If y'all want to see a video of that, I did record it, but for the video's sake, I did not input it. So here I am doing the godet. You want to go ahead and measure out from the waist to the floor on the skirts that you already cut, and just go ahead and cut either full circles or half circles. I did half circles on this one because I didn't want it to be too wide. So you're just going to go ahead and cut 2 of those, and then for the back we're going to fold it in half, use the selvage part as the side seam, and then use the full length of that folded side as the train. Voila. Fire. Fire. Okay, so now we're going to sew up the godets onto the front panel and the center back godet for the back. And before we attach them together, we're gonna, as you can see, I went to try it on, but I'm gonna put it on my BBL dress form. If you don't have one, you should definitely invest in one because my girl is very curvy, but nonetheless. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pin it down the center, and then I'm gonna go and pin the sides together. I did do it only half open because it didn't make any sense to do the full thing open and then, you know, whatever. So pinned it down. I apologize for the angle. I did not know that it was recording like this, but I pinned the sides as if I was doing a actual fitting on a client, and that way I can go ahead and just trim off all this extra material and sew it down. Quick question. I know this is the Valentine's Day inspo, so what do you guys have plans for Valentine's Day? I would love to know in the comments. This will be my first Valentine's spent with my fiance, and I'm so excited. Okay, so as you can see, I'm about to try this thing on, and y'all, as y'all are sewing, it's okay to try on and stuff just to make sure that we're going in the right direction, everything's fitting properly, because it's nothing worse than getting over to the end and finding out that it don't fit or it's just weird fitting. We don't want that. I did add horsehair to the bottom of the dress, and if you don't know what horsehair is, it is just a stiffener for the hem. This is completely optional. You do not have to add it. I did add it, and honestly, it didn't need it. It could have just been without, but hey, here we are. And so now we're gonna add on the applique. You guys, please cut around all that, the mesh. Cut it off, okay? There's no need to have little pieces of mesh. It looks tacky, and honestly, it looks cheap. So make sure you cut it all off. Placing the applique is part of like my favorite part of sewing. It's fun. I enjoy it, but as y'all can see, this applique is not to size, and so we're gonna have to do a little detour. I ended up redesigning the top with the applique, and you're gonna see later on in this video what I did with the bust part. Typically when you get a better quality applique, it will cover the full top, but this one was from Amazon, and it was only $40. So, you know, we had to use what we had. And so I ended up draping the top with more of the material because we did have a lot left over. And so I ended up having to hand sew a bit because this was supposed to have the full applique on it. Now, if you still want that applique look and you don't want the fabric on top like how I did it here, just go ahead and order 2 of them things so that you have more to play with, because I didn't have enough. And so I did want the roses at the bottom. I ended up going without it just for the video's sake in time. But I do like the roses at the bottom. It didn't need it, but hey. So y'all can tell me what you think, and if we should add the roses, I'll add the roses in another video. So now we're going to finish just hand sewing these pleats on there. I did a lot of base stitches throughout it. And honestly, it looked very clean on the inside, so I was very pleased with how it turned out. I'm looking forward to getting to the end of this video, which is coming up very soon, so that you guys can see what it looked like on me versus what it looked like on my BBL girl in the corner. So you can quickly see that in the back, I ended up pleating the back so that it can cover the mesh, being that I didn't have enough applique to just do a full beaded top. You know, you got to improvise, and I improvised with the fabric that I had, and voila, this was me in it. And y'all can see what that rose looked like. I did keep one on there because I wasn't about to make all of them because I really wasn't feeling it too much, but whatever. And so now we're gonna see what it looked like on Miss BBL over here. And y'all can see it definitely was a little struggle because that girl got some hips on her, okay? I'm not gonna lie, I really did enjoy this project, and the roses are not terrible. I just think that it just needs to be very full at the bottom, and I did not have enough fabric or even time to do the full thing. But you guys can see what one looks like, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this project. Let me know